My name is David Ward. I am the Garden and Nursery Director at the Beth Chatto Gardens, Colchester, Essex.
Now, the Affinity Water podcast series in the climate crisis, water and saving water, really deserves a higher profile.
Absolutely. I think, any little, we all think, oh, what difference am I going to make? But we've all got to start somewhere. So I think, yes, anything we can do, people can come along here and see that you can have a drought-resistant garden looking good. I mean, you come along here in a couple of months' time, it'll be a totally different picture. Lots of bulbs, as I mentioned. There's bulbs for the woodland garden, but there are lots of bulbs for the drought garden as well. Scillas, chinodoxas, crocus, all kinds of things. Later on, tulips. And we've had this garden for nearly 30 years, so it is achievable, it is possible.
Well, we've got the cafe and the offices in sight now, so we're nearly at the end of our 30-minute tour of the Beth Chatto Gardens in Elmstead in Essex. Back to tips, because horticulturists and gardeners do like tips. You've given us a few, but Beth would say, to kind of look at the conditions of your garden, study them and sort of plant accordingly. Anything else you've noticed, perhaps mistakes that gardeners make?
Yeah, I mean, we all make mistakes. We're still making lots of mistakes. In this part of the garden, we found plants that we thought would survive that haven't. I mean, coming back to bulbs, one good little tip is don't plant all your bulbs in the ground in the autumn. Put them in pots, plant them in the spring, as they'll root in the pots and they'll pop up. And the reason for that is we do that a lot here. We can see what other bulbs and where to put them. In the autumn, you can't see where to put your bulbs. You're not quite sure where the others are, where those daffodils are, what's going to grow. But in the spring, you can place them out exactly where you want them when they're going to be in flower. So that's just a little tip on the bulb side. But one thing I just would like to add is soil preparation. That is really key. Plant choice is important. Soil preparation is as important. Even if you just dig the soil over, get the soil loose so the young plants can get their roots into the soil. If you can add something to improve the soil, no matter what the soil is, if it's sandy, gravelly or sticky clay, something that's spent mushroom compost, your own homemade compost, that all goes to add to break up the soil, improve the structure. So don't just give them the worst you have, try and provide the best you can.
Well, David, you've given us a wonderful tour this January 2020 day of the Beth Chatto Gardens in Essex. A leading question, but an important one. As climate crisis deepens, water is becoming more of a resource that we have to husband and save. Do you think perhaps we should look at hosepipe bans differently? We should think perhaps, well, let's go with the flow rather than complain, because we do need to save water.
Yeah, I mean, that is the message I hope you can go away with today, is really there's no need to plant those plants that require lots of water, and because once you water a plant, you have to keep watering it, because it wants, if you feed a plant, it will grow, and then it wants more water. So we don't feed any of these plants in the drought garden either. We don't water them, we don't feed them. We want to grow them hard, starve them. So, there are plants out there, and, we're here to help. There's lots of information on the web, of course. There's lots of books written on the subject. There are possibilities for every situation in the garden that will reduce your water usage. Save your water for your vegetables, that's where it's needed.
And cut down your water use.
Cut down your water use. Yeah, try and use your wastewater, that's the best. But yeah, there's no need to water an ornamental garden.